This week on 49ers Cal High Sports presented by U.S. Bank, the San Francisco fencer advancing her way to the top, the Pleasanton volleyball star whose dream scholarship ended in a nightmare.
We'll also have the Valley Christian basketball player using her faith for strength after finding a mass near her lungs. It's all next on 49ers Cal High Sports.
Welcome to 49ers Cal High Sports presented by U.S. Bank. I'm Robert Brownstein.
And I'm Aubrey Tolliver. We begin tonight in San Francisco, where one of the nation's top fencers is practicing from her home.
Yes, she is. Julia Hung works out with her coach in her backyard while the San Francisco Fencing Club is closed because of the virus. None of this has left Juliana from being one of the best in the country in this beautiful sport. It takes a lot to become a fencer at the highest level. Juliana Hung has traveled the world winning matches and always with her trademark, yes.
I got into fencing when I was 5 years old, and it was because my older brother, he started fencing, and I was like, I want to fence too. And he did other things, like he did gymnastics, and I also wanted to do gymnastics. So I really want to copy my brother in all the sports he did, and fencing was one of them.
Juliana has learned to succeed in fencing. You can't count on anyone but yourself.
Yeah, most of the results that you produce are because of you, and you have to pass each level in the competition to get to the final. Yeah, and everything you do depends on you. So if you're more determined, more driven, if you're focusing on your style to improve yourself, you're going to see that in the results.
Juliana competes in the foil event, which means a different grip to the weapon, and to score points you have to hit within a certain area.
So for a foil fencer, I always say imagine you're wearing a vest. That is everywhere you can, that is on. You'll score for that.
So unlike other weapons with foil, you have to be more precise, more accurate.
There's a lot of technique that comes into being a foil fencer. So the ones with better technique tend to be better fencers because first, the target is a lot smaller and there's more back and forth actions that can make it your opponent's and all of a sudden yours, at the very last second.
All of this takes a huge time commitment with hours of practice each week and travel all over the world for competition. Juliana is able to do all of that while maintaining a perfect 4.0 GPA at the Bay School in San Francisco.
I've been good at talking to my teachers, asking for homework ahead of time, doing it on the plane. Any moment where I'm free, I'm doing homework, and it's helped me to be more organized. So I see myself as a very organized person.
First of all, you have to love it, and doing this only because you like the sport, not because of, you want to get to Ivy League or, achieve any other goals which not attached to fencing. She's, hard worker, which is pay her and the strip. She worked very hard, and that's why she achieved these results.
Juliana has her share of championships, but being the perfectionist, it's the second place finishes she remembers most.
There was one in Paris. I think it was a 12-hour competition, and I also got second in those. So it was amazing by my result, but the fact that I could one step higher, and I'm almost there. And I'm there almost there so many times, so that's my goal.
Juliana's success will likely lead to advancing to a top program in college. From there, it's up to her how far she goes in the sport.
Potentially, definitely, she can go and reach all her goals, even go to Olympics and be in U.S. team, senior U.S. team. But it's really, if she really wants to do it, right? Because everything goes till college, and in college, usually, fencers kind of stop.
With the COVID outbreak, Juliana now practices in her backyard. She looks forward to competition starting back up so she can compete for real and realize her goal of an international championship. Juliana is waiting for competitions to continue around the world to continue to meet her goal of competing in college and on the world stage.
How do you get into fencing?
She did it because, as she talked about in the story, her brother did it, and so she decided to do it, and then she got better than her brother and kept going.
Yeah, I'm better than my brother at everything too, so.
That's what you keep saying.
All All right, Stevens Creek Chevrolet brings us the Spirit Corner each week.
This week we feature the Pioneer Mustangs cheer team. Coming up, the Amador Valley volleyball star and how the pandemic changed his scholarship goals.
And later, the Harker golfer staying sharp despite a lack of competitions. 49ers Cal High Sports will be back in a moment.
Some see a grilled cheese sandwich and ask why. I see a new kitchen with a grill and ask why not.
I really need to start adding less to cart and more to savings.
Sitting on this couch so long made me want to make some changes, starting with this couch.
Yeah, I need a house with a different view. And this is the bank that will help you do it all. Because at U.S. Bank, our people are dedicated to turning your new inspiration into your next pursuit.
When I first came here, my goal was to be a contributing player on my high school's JV football team. The center actually not only helped me achieve my goals, but exceed even what I initially set out to do. I was able to continue playing football professionally through a lot of the things that I learned at the Rega Center. The Rega Center is a place to help you achieve your goals and then, tailor it to whatever the person's goals might be.
1, 2, 3.
Get ready to cheer for your next new or used car at Stevens Creek Chevrolet.
Stevens Creek Chevrolet!
We're ready to make your buying experience safe and easy. Come to our dealership to see and test drive one of hundreds of great Chevrolet cars and trucks. Or you can go online to shop, order, and have your new car delivered right to your door. So get fired up for a great deal right here at
Stevens Creek Chevrolet!
It's understandable to feel anxious, stressed, or lonely because of COVID-19. Physical separation, your own health, and the health of friends and family can weigh heavily on you. Call a timeout on work. Get a game plan for mental wellness with crucial mental health resources from CalHOPE. We'll help you carry the ball. Call 1-833-317-HOPE to talk to someone who can help, or visit calhope.dhcs.ca.gov. CalHOPE, official partner of the San Francisco 49ers.
49ers Cal High Sports is brought to you by these fine companies who care about high school sports. By Invisalign, transforming smiles, changing lives. By Stevens Creek Chevrolet, find new roads. By Wingstop, order Wingstop's new all-in bundle, just $19.99. See wingstop.com for restrictions and details. And by Cupertino Electric, the company delivering power and possibilities and celebrating student athletes making a positive impact.
Welcome back to Levi Stadium and the NBC Sports Studio. Adobe helps us bring you athletes performing at their peak every week.
Our Danielle Podlosky joins us with the story of the Amador Valley volleyball player and how the pandemic affected his goals.
Aubrey, Luke McFall is a 4-year varsity starter and standout on the Amador Valley volleyball team. After receiving 3 Division I college offers, Luke committed to Stanford, but had to quickly change his plans when Stanford cut the program over the summer. Amador Valley senior Luke McFall grew up watching his mom and dad play volleyball.
Both my parents played. They just picked it up when they were 27 or something like that, and I would go to the games when I was in elementary school, and I really liked the sport and started playing in middle school and really enjoyed it.
Luke's dad has coached him since he was in the 6th grade.
I've watched Luke grow into quite an amazing player and a great man. I've had him since he was just a lanky 12-year-old, 13-year-old kid in 6th grade, and watched him develop. I'm super proud of what he's done and what we've achieved together on the volleyball court.
Fast forward to high school, and Luke is a hard-hitting, high-flying star on the Amador Valley volleyball team. In 2019, the 6'8" middle blocker led the Dons to a North Coast section title and was named to the All-East Bay League first team. During the 2020 abbreviated season, Luke ranked 3rd in the nation in hitting percentage.
He's a very athletic middle, moves very well, hits very high. He's a very smart player. He has a very high volleyball IQ. He's played a lot of outside for us, which has developed him as a 6th-position player. He's plays, he passes well, makes just smart plays all the way around the volleyball court.
His impressive play in high school stats earned Luke Division I college offers from Stanford, Princeton, and Pepperdine. After receiving his Stanford offer this past March, Luke was set on wearing the Cardinal and white. But in July, Stanford, without any warning, cut 11 athletic programs, including men's volleyball.
It was just heartbreaking. Yeah, at first I didn't believe it. I was like, oh, it's just a proposal that's not going to go through. But it was fact, and it took a while for me to realize that.
That was a devastating day, and it came completely out of the blue. We thought that we had a done deal. We were sure he was going to get in. He had a scholarship offer. We didn't see any signs of trouble until we basically got the call that it was done, over, killed.
Luke had a tough decision to make. He ultimately committed to Princeton in September, but will be taking a year off before starting in the fall of 2022.
They offered me a spot, but I told them Stanford was my first priority, and they unfortunately gave my spot away to another player. But when Stanford cut the program, they said I could take a gap year, come in the next class, and it's completely fine.
Luke is making the most of that gap year.
I'm going to internship my first semester and then go play in Holland for my second semester. It's a Princeton connection. A few other guys have taken gap years and have done the same thing, and I'm just kind of following their path. It's really great because you get to play with older guys. Like, I'd be the youngest on the team. The next oldest would probably be like 24 or something like that. And so it's just really good experience to get before going to college. Because a lot of kids struggle with the transition from club to college. And so that'd be a very good bridge for me.
While Princeton is located on the opposite side of the country, Luke does have some family ties to the university.
Both my aunt and uncle went there, and so I can get some knowledge from them.
It's a credit to Luke that he's recovered and pivoted and found such a great fallback opportunity. I love to tell my sister that Princeton was his safety school because she's an alum, but that's probably not really fair.
Luke is looking forward to his senior season and is aiming to add another NCS championship to his resume before starting his collegiate career as a Tiger. With the pandemic, Luke hasn't visited Princeton's campus yet, but he's heard great things from his relatives and plans on going to see it before heading off to Holland.
I went to Princeton, so I know that it's a beautiful campus.
No, we didn't.
On vacation one summer, I went to
Missouri.
Princeton. It was a vacation. All right, thanks, Danielle. Coming up, the Valley Christian basketball player and the rare ailment obstructing her breathing.
And later, the Midi girls back on the field and the limitations they face. 49ers Cal High Sports will be right back.
People always ask me what I got on. They be like, hey, Brandon, what you got on? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, sweetheart. Don't worry about it, sweetheart.
Invis is everything braces isn't. More comfortable, fewer emergency appointments. Invisalign.
Every day, the sun comes up. And right on cue, the work begins. We start every morning, knowing full well we're in it for the long haul. Our work is a labor of love. No task too small, no moment uncherished. And although we're not often thanked, we rest knowing that our work is making a brighter future. This is more than milk.
Go to SB Live California as your destination for the very best in local high school sports coverage online. SB Live brings sports fans exclusive articles, highlights, coaches, polls, and photo galleries. Get the SB Live app for the latest scores from games played all around the Bay Area and California. This season, SB Live brings you exclusive content in partnership with 49ers Cal High Sports. Follow us at SB Live CA on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. SB Live, the Bay Area's first destination for the latest in high school sports.
Invis is everything braces isn't. Eating the food you love, life uninterrupted. Invisalign.
We are the Half Moon Bay High School Marching Band.
And you're watching 49ers Cal High
Sports Report.
Each week, U.S. Bank helps us bring you stories of inspirational athletes who amaze us.
Masks are going to be a very common sight in high school games this season. Well, back in July, Valley Christian junior Iman Addison found out wearing a mask isn't the only thing that could obstruct her breathing.
I'm just praying for the best, really. That's all you can do.
10 minutes. Ball in the air, feet in the air.
Back in June of this year, Iman Addison started coughing up blood.
It was just really random, so I was just like, this isn't right. And I know like when coughing up blood is not a good sign, so I just knew that I had to tell somebody like immediately.
As the first course of action, Iman underwent a CT scan.
The doctor waited to the end of the day to talk to us, put us as the last appointment, and kept us here for 2 hours and explained that there was a mass near her bronchial tube.
The scan revealed a mass on Iman's bronchial tube. The hose needed to bring air from the mouth and throat to the lungs. To find out if it was cancerous, doctors scheduled Iman for a biopsy to go in and remove a piece of the mass so they can analyze it. It's a scary procedure.
There you
go. Iman calls her coach.
I definitely saw it in June because she wasn't participating as much in the workouts, and she was somebody that always participated. So she was like, you know, we would have a Zoom workout and she wouldn't be able to do it because of her health.
Coach McSween was really understanding, and his wife was a nurse, so at the same hospital, so she was a really big help. And he even came to visit, like, and talk about everything at my home, and like he brought gifts for me. So it was really nice to have them there for me during that time.
My wife is on the unit that actually helps them, so you know, some of our good friends, or my wife's good friends, were helping Iman with the recovery, post-op, and it was just really cool because my wife was able to kind of ease Ed and Deshelle's tension and let them know, hey, this is something that we see quite often, and you know, you're catching it early. So that was really cool that we were able to at least ease their mind a little bit. You know, whenever you have something like this, a surgery that is, you know, some people say minor surgery, but every surgery really is pretty major. So it was good that she was in good hands.
The biopsy went on without a hitch, and Iman's family began anxiously waiting for the results. Then on July 2nd, doctors revealed it was a tumor.
We were in shock, and we were trying to hold it together and not get emotional. Iman was very calm. She was so calm, just like, well, whatever you gotta do, take it out. You gotta cut me open, take it out. And it wasn't that simple because where it's located, you could have internal bleeding.
I was a little scared at first, but when they told me like it wasn't like, you know, life-threatening, I was a little bit relieved and like grateful that I can still like have a normal life, just not to be in the hospital 24/7. But I was still a little bit scared in the back of my mind.
She doesn't get rattled. So she's not one to respond emotionally. It's much more a thinker. She's gonna say, okay, what needs to be done? So she was really at the point where she was like, if you have to cut it out, cut it out. That was her resolve.
It's called an inflammatory myofibroblastic tumor.
It's in between non-cancerous and cancerous, like it has some cancerous traits, and like it's called an intermediate cancer, so like that's what they call it.
Very rare, it's like 1 in 1 million. The whole idea is they're giving her chemo medication to dissolve the tumor.
I have to take this medication, I have to be really responsible and take it twice a day, and if I don't, you know, it won't shrink. It has a lot of side effects, so sometimes it makes me nauseous, and like sometimes I've like thrown up from it. We're hoping the medication eventually like shrinks it all, like so it's like no longer there, and I won't have to do any more surgeries. But I will still have to go like into the doctors every once in a while and get tests done to see if it's like starting to grow back or like relocate. We're just hoping that it eventually dissolves from the medication.
The tumor has shrunk since Iman's first CT scan, but doctors say it doesn't seem to be shrinking anymore. But that might not mean the medication isn't working.
They may do another biopsy because it could be scar tissue. So right now it's possibly scar tissue that they're seeing. But her breathing and her pulmonologist is like, oh my gosh, her breathing is tremendous. You know, she could practice and play with a mask on.
There you go. I feel so blessed because it could be worse. That's why I try to focus on the positives, because many people don't have this opportunity. Many people have it way worse than me, and I'm just so blessed that I'm able to still do all the things that I love to do.
Iman is back on the court. Doctors told Iman she has no limitations, but the mass is still there and still could cause Iman harm.
I'm scared that it doesn't shrink because of the medication. I might have to have another surgery, but I've been praying more, just putting all my faith in God and just letting Him dictate the way, and putting all my trust and faith in Him. And all my friends really have played a big part too. And my teammates, they're really helpful. I'm so blessed to have them on my team. So
she's an amazing young woman, and she's very faith-based. I tell a lot of people around me that the kids strengthen my relationship with God because of how strong they are. And she leads our devotions a lot of the times. She is just a leader in so many aspects.
The team has really helped with, I think faith, having faith and trusting one another, because I think at any other school it wouldn't have been like this. Our team is really close, so I don't think, I think God brought me here for a reason. It's very hard for me to get close with people. So, but these people and Coach McSwain, everyone has just really helped bond us closer together, and I couldn't be more grateful.
The tumor is between cancerous and non-cancerous, so doctors are going to have to monitor that very closely. But Iman is able to run, jump, and shoot, all with a tumor potentially blocking her airway.
Oh, that's just amazing. It's such a scary thing.
Mm-hmm. It is very scary, and I put the microphone on her. I could hear her breathing, and I was like, oh. Yeah.
But she's able to compete.
Everything. She has no limitations on the court.
Fantastic. Wingstop brings us the Wings of an Angel honor each week, where a student athlete talks about their favorite teacher.
Here's Gary Alexander from El Cerrito talking about his favorite teacher, Veronica Mayetta.
My favorite teacher is my English 2, also AP Lang teacher, Miss Mayetta. She's been with me since sophomore year, and we really connected when it comes down to schoolwork. She really helped me write my essays and about my personal statements and how to elaborate on a piece of paper. And she also helped me in a lot of other things, make sure school comes first regardless, and make sure that education is done. And before I even got in her class, my grades wasn't really doing good. And then once I got in her class, I can tell she really boosted up my grades, and she really helped me out.
Our Wings of an Angel teacher will receive a Wingstop gift card for doing such a great job.
Wingstop is also honoring Terry Blanchard, a Wingstop owner who passed away this past spring from COVID-19. Wingstop will be supporting scholarships for athletes of color in Terry's honor. Those scholarships to be presented at our end of the season awards banquet in June.
Coming up, the record-breaking Harker golfer.
And later, the regular season game from our E-Game tournament, 49ers Cal High Sports, will be back in a moment.
Are you ready to sink your teeth into a lemon pepper, sweet and spicy Korean cute-tastic mango habanero
master class in all things wings?
Yes, I am.
Are you though?
I'll take that.
All right. Get the new all-in bundle for just $19.99. Available for delivery and carry-out for a limited time. Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings.
Piercy Honda, located right off Highway 880 in Milpitas, is where you will find hundreds of new and pre-owned Hondas to choose from. Low credit score, no credit, first-time buyer? No problem, Piercy Honda can help. Find us online at piercyhonda.com to search our inventory, calculate your payments, and even complete your purchase. Piercy Honda is home to great customer service, great deals, and a more convenient way to buy a new or pre-owned Honda. Go to Piercy Honda in Milpitas.
The Guzmans were about to close on a home they adored, but at the last minute, their mortgage company denied their loan because the unusual home didn't meet their usual loan requirements. Heartbroken, they turned to Tri-Counties Bank home mortgage loan specialist Vincent Pagara, specializing in custom loans for unique homes. His team quickly designed a creative solution, uniting the Guzmans and their home just in time. That's a perfect match. For personalized problem solving, switch to Tri-Counties Bank. Service with solutions.
49ers Cal High Sports is brought to you by these fine companies who care about high school sports. By DGDG.com, where we want you to be a happy car buyer. By the Reiki Center, where goals and dreams become a reality. By Tri-Counties Bank, service with solutions. 12 locations now open in the Bay Area. And by the Serena Group, here for good.
I'm Kathleen Pazine with Sereno Group Real Estate, and I'm proud to support Bay Area high school sports on the 49ers Cal High Sports Report.
We are back at Levi Stadium with this week's DGDG.com feature story.
Danielle Podlosky rejoins us now with the story of an outstanding golfer from the Harker School.
Robert, Natalie Vaux's name is etched in the school's history books, but Natalie isn't stopping there. She's working hard to achieve big goals in her final year of high school. Natalie Vaux's swing is one of a kind.
I think technique-wise it's pretty normal, but my coach likes to say that I have a lot of natural talent because I'm very flexible, so it can get a little long.
It's very, very steady, and you know, as golfers sometimes, you know, we don't have great hitting days some days, and it's ball striking, and it could go all over the place, but she's actually, you know, in the 10 years I've been coaching, is probably one of the best, most consistent ball strikers I've seen out there.
The Harker School senior grew up on the golf course, literally.
We're literally just like a 2-minute drive away, just around the corner.
Natalie and her older sister Caitlin hit the course together every chance they have.
We pretty much practice together every day, especially now during quarantine.
The Vaux sisters played together on the Harker golf team. This season, Natalie will be on her own, with Caitlin graduating from Harker in 2020.
They kind of been, you know, in tandem, always together. So this will be the first year that, you know, they're apart. So it will be, I think, a great growing year for Natalie as well.
Caitlin is playing Division III golf at Pomona College. Natalie is talking with a few schools and hopes to follow in her sister's footsteps and play at the next level.
She's definitely a Division I player, and she just really has to be able to make sure she finds the right fit, right? That's so important, like the culture, the team aspect.
Natalie is making a name for herself at Harker. Her consistency and composure are on full display out on the course.
I think just being able to keep it together mentally, even after bad shots, has really helped me. I just take it one shot at a time. You can't really go back and hit shots again, so just keeping with the next shot.
Natalie made it to the state championship both her sophomore and junior years. Natalie is the first Harker golfer to make back-to-back state championship appearances as an individual.
Just going to states in general in the beginning was one of my goals, but being able to go again twice was really nice.
It was just so incredible to see her, and I know how much time and effort, and you know, it's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, you know, and you know, just really working hard on it and just committing herself. Golfers spend a tremendous amount of time working on their craft, and she's really developed that knack for learning how to practice and just being very committed to it.
But Natalie isn't satisfied. She is aiming at a third straight state championship appearance, and this time wants to bring her team with her.
I would not put a limit on Natalie. She really just has, you know, a really great mindset, and when she plays, she's very focused and just has the right attitude towards the game. And it would not surprise me one bit if she advances to the state championship. But I think more importantly, I know that she wants to do this for the team more than anything. So the team has gone to back-to-back NorCal championships, you know, and our goal is to hopefully head to the state championship, you know, her last year in high school. But it takes a team effort, and she knows that.
Natalie Vaux's swing is as consistent as it gets. Her swing helped make school history and will continue to bring Natalie a lot of success in the future. After their virtual classes, Natalie and Caitlin head to the course every single day to prepare for their upcoming seasons.
Yeah, golf especially, you got to do that to be good. You got to keep practicing, but tough during the pandemic.
Well, they live 0.2 miles away, so.
That's nice.
From a course.
Nice. Very convenient. All right, coming up, back on the field, but not all fields. We'll explain the dilemma with two top players at Midi.
And later, a top gymnast from Los Gatos and her road to success. We are back at Levi Stadium at the NBC Sports Studio where the Midi Monarchs are back in black. The Midi girls soccer and field hockey teams hitting the field.
But, of course, there are limitations to these new workouts, making the return to practice bittersweet. What does it mean to a teenage athlete to get back on the field, to practice with teammates they haven't seen in person for 10 months, to play the games they love?
After about 7 months of not being able to play at all or have a team, it just feels good to be able to see my teammates face to face, and even if we can't do anything with contact, it's just so nice to be able to be with them on the field and build that sort of community back.
The cohort size is what it is. So if we have 3 people or we have 30 people, that's the cohort now.
It was hard at first because it was 7 months and we've kind of only been doing things on our own, but when you're able to just see your teammates and just see their faces in person, it really just, you remember why you play the sport and you remember why you're out here, and you just forget about like everything going on in the world, and you could just play and have fun and be with your team and do what you love.
Both Kylie and Emma play soccer and field hockey for Midi. When practice for sports was first allowed, the two worked out with both teams. But because of new rules from the county, the two can only practice with one of those teams at a time right now.
Yeah, that was definitely really hard and frustrating because we were finally starting to get back into the gist of everything, and kind of just, you were able to go to your field hockey community and then your soccer community, and you were just able to bond with one another and even further your skills. But now when you're only able to pick one sport and you're only able to practice with one team, it just really limits things, and it's really challenging to kind of bond with both teams.
Have a plan.
So while the soccer team practices one day, these two team captains are not allowed to practice with the soccer team. Instead, they practice with their field hockey team, since that team will play first when sports come back in January.
I'm so excited. Anything with competition or anything where I get to actually go out there and have a win or lose situation, that's what I've been looking for a long time.
But nothing is certain, and January games are still not a sure thing. The CIF will decide after talks with the state on guidelines for play, or if games will happen at all. This uncertainty is really tough on the athletes.
Honestly, yeah, no one really knows at this point. I heard that we're supposed to find out if we do have a season in the next 2 weeks, and it's really hard to see that volleyball gets a season and football gets a season, especially because football is a really high contact sport, so that gives hope for field hockey. But you really just never know at this point. Something could come up or something can change in a matter of days or minutes.
Kylie is one of so many athletes from the class of 2021 who have missed out on scholarships because of limitations put on colleges because of the pandemic.
Yeah, it's definitely really challenging, especially because with the seniors in college now, like they may be deciding to take a 5th year, so that's limiting our options as the class of 2021 to pursue a future scholarship or even just a spot on the team. So it's definitely really hard, and it makes everything really more challenging, especially because if you're trying to get in contact with coaches, the only way is email and calling, but you can't really have a face-to-face conversation with them, which is really where you're able to get to know them on a deeper level.
The two continue to take classes online with hope of classes in person to some extent in January. Then there's the question of all the senior activities, senior ball and a graduation ceremony. They both say playing games would be a great way to bring happy memories during their senior year. So what would they say to the people deciding on whether to play games this January?
I would say there's a lot of people that really miss playing and competing, and if you could figure out a way to do it safely and cautiously, please try everything possible.
Until that decision is made, these two will enjoy this time on the field. While it is limited for them, it's so much better than no organized activity at all. The Mitty girls, like so many other athletes, keep adjusting their lives as the rules change depending on the severity of the COVID outbreak.
We are still hoping there's going to be a soccer season, going to be a football season. I'm putting
in
good
January.
things out.
In January. It's all going to get better by then.
Yes, exactly.
Hoping.
New Year's. All right, it's Deja Mu. Each week, Clover Dairy brings us athletes who are grazing their way through the professional ranks. This week, we feature Vita Vea from Milpitas High School.
Vita was a talented defensive force for the Trojans. Vita then played at the University of Washington, where he was named Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year in 2017. Vita was drafted 12th overall in the 2018 draft by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Vita is now on injured reserve after breaking his leg earlier this season. We wish him a speedy recovery. Coming up, game action from our Madden e-game tournament next.
You're watching 49ers Cal High Sports presented by U.S. Bank.
Some see a grilled cheese sandwich and ask why. I see a new kitchen with a grill and ask why not.
I really need to start adding less to cart and more to savings.
Sitting on this couch so long made me want to make some changes, starting with this couch.
Yeah, I need a house with a different view. And this is the bank that will help you do it all. Because at U.S. Bank, our people are dedicated to turning your new inspiration into your next pursuit.
It's understandable to feel anxious, stressed, or lonely because of COVID-19. Physical separation, your own health, and the health of friends and family can weigh heavily on you. Call a timeout on work. Get a game plan for mental wellness with crucial mental health resources from CalHOPE. We'll help you carry the ball. Call 1-833-317-HOPE to talk to someone who can help, or visit calhope.dhcs.ca.gov. CalHOPE, official partner of the San Francisco 49ers.
For more than 65 years, Cupertino Electric has been delivering power and possibilities. With offices throughout California and project sites throughout the U.S., Cupertino Electric today builds renewable, commercial, utility, and data center projects for some of the most influential companies in the world. Beyond that, we are a people company. We build family, communities, and meaningful careers. Visit CEI.com today or connect with us on LinkedIn, Facebook, or other social sites to see our openings and join our team.
Devcon Construction is #1 in the Bay Area and Silicon Valley because of trust. 95% of our business comes from repeat customers. They know the customer is our top priority. That's why Devcon was the choice for the 49ers Stadium and for the Earthquake Stadium. Devcon was also chosen when outstanding schools like Bellarmine, the Nueva School, and Mitty wanted the very best on time and on budget. Top Bay Area companies know Devcon is the best choice whether it's new construction or renovation. Devcon Construction, helping to build the best in Silicon Valley. Our e-game tournament continues this week with the regular season starting to wind down.
Here's action from this week's game with two of the top players.
Hi, my name is Josh Gerlach. I go to California High School. I'm using the 49ers because it's the Bay Area team. It's my favorite team. These past few games, I've taken a few close losses to a couple undefeated players. Looking in this game to seal the run game early and just get some early points.
My James. I go to Santa Teresa High School, and I'm using the Oakland Raiders because I like the run game with Josh Jacobs and the speedsters and fast receivers they got for the drags one-play touchdowns. I should have won my last game, but I got lazy when I was already up and just started doing simple mistakes. It led to a loss. And then I'm looking to bounce back this game. Hopefully don't do the same thing.
Now Garoppolo on the bootleg. And it's caught. And he's going to take it in. He'll look to Mostert to start things out. Goes right side. Touchdown. Garoppolo looks to throw. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. As they search for a tying touchdown. Here's 1st and 10. They're going to try and run for it. And he gets halfway there.
Yeah, it was a big win. I'm glad I got it. I needed it. These last two games have been tough on me, so it was nice to, it was a close game, this last one, but it was nice to finally get that win.
I thought I did good on defense, trying to force him to throw the ball more than run, try to look for the mistakes. Man low-key sold a little bit on some of the plays, but it was a good game overall. You know, he was tough like I expected. So I went for 2 just to try to seal the game because I wasn't trying to go into overtime no more. And, you know, took the loss.
Shout out UGL, man. It's been fun. Keep it going.
Sure.
Follow UGL on social media and subscribe to UGL World_TV on Twitch to view the full game.
The Harker School brings us the Scholar Athlete Award each week. This week we honor Luke McFall, who was featured earlier in the show. Luke is headed to Princeton with a 3.94 GPA.
Yeah, it's really nice at Princeton. I loved it when I went there. Brought to you by the Harker School. Last week, senior Anna Werich, one of Harker's standout cross-country athletes, committed to run cross-country and track at UCLA next fall. At Harker, transitional kindergarten through 12th grade students discover their passions. Learn more at harker.org.
Be sure to check us out on social media for lots of fun content, including videos, news updates, and lots more. We're at 49ers Cal High everywhere, including TikTok.
Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel to get updates on when new videos are posted each week. Coming up, a Bay Area gymnast reaching an amazing goal. The Emily Lee story is next.
You're watching 49ers Cal High Sports, presented by US Bank.
49ers Cal High Sports is brought to you by these fine companies who care about high school sports. By Lexus of Stevens Creek, we get it. By Clover Sonoma, the #1 milk brand in Northern California and proud partners of the 49ers. And by Devcon Construction, build, design, perform, sustain.
We are back at Levi Stadium with our next feature story, brought to you by Service by Medallion.
Allie Williams joins us now with the story of a Los Gatos gymnast working hard to achieve her goals.
Yes, Emily Lee is one of the top gymnasts in the country. Earlier this year, she achieved her dream of being named to the USA Gymnastics Senior National Team. Next year, she'll check another goal off the list, one she's been waiting for since 8th grade. Emily Lee has given her all to gymnastics and is a member of the USA Gymnastics Senior National Team. But you may not have expected that outcome at her very first practice.
My dad found a coupon for a free class in the newspaper. He took me here and I actually started crying the first time.
And she didn't want to come to the gym and I have to go to the parking lot.
Emily's first few practices didn't go as planned, but she gave it another chance in kindergarten after her natural talent shone through at a friend's house.
Her friend, Jennifer, was actually doing gymnastics here at West Valley, and she would be tumbling, and she would show Emily these tumbling tricks, and Emily would just do them. And like perfect cartwheels and all that, and then her mom was like, you should sign her up.
Emily started gymnastics at the age of 6, which was still older than some of the other girls on the elite track. She made up for it quickly.
She started gymnastics later, and we saw her, you know, she had a lot of power.
It's kind of what we call a trickster, meaning she loves new skills.
Emily is able to show her range of tricks on every event, but none more so than on her favorite.
I think floor. Floor is my favorite.
Why?
I get to use my power.
Her floor and vault are like, and her beam are like what I want in my gymnastics, because she's so powerful. Like, I want my tumbling to look like that. She goes so high, I'm like, wow.
Emily moved up the ranks quickly, but says she's had her share of setbacks.
I remember there's 2 seasons in a row. The first season I had like wrist problems, so I missed it, and then I got surgery, and then I got a concussion, and then I was like ready, I was cleared, and then I fractured my foot, and so like scratch that season 2.
She's had some setbacks that, you know, could easily push her one way or the other, but she actually rose to the occasion.
Even after injuries set her back in back-to-back years, Emily pushed through. She competed in 4 national competitions in 2019, and in March of this year, Emily was assigned to her first international competition in Canada. That assignment automatically added Emily to the senior national team for USA Gymnastics.
It was so exciting. It was like, I was working to be on the national team since like I started elite. That was my main goal. Like, some people are always like Olympics or stuff, but my main goal was to make the national team. And when I finally did it, it was just like, it was like a dream come true. Like, not gonna lie, it was really scary and I was really nervous, but like I had to like remind myself, like, this is how you worked so hard for this, so like enjoy it. I won the all around, so that was good, and then our team won too, and then I got second on floor finals.
Little did Emily know that after that meet in the first week of March, COVID would shut down businesses, schools, and any future competitions.
I've always told her, like, you were very lucky that you got assigned to this one versus the Jeslo one, because Jeslo was completely shut down. That was the second group of girls that were going to go to that one. So, so she was very fortunate that she got the experience and that she did get to go.
Back at West Valley Gymnastics, where Emily has trained since the beginning, the virus has not changed her strict routine.
I wake up around 6:20, get ready by 6:40, leave the house by like 6:43. I like to maximize the sleep I get, like by the minute.
I don't have to be on her case because she can manage on her own. And then her grades are great, so I don't have to be on top of her.
Emily went to Lee High School in her freshman year. She's the third of 4 siblings, and her older brother and sister both played sports for the Longhorns. With her rigid training schedule, Emily chose to complete the rest of her high school years online. Next year, she'll move on to UCLA. Emily committed to the Bruins gymnastics team in 8th grade.
I grew up going to UCLA gymnastics meets, so like from very young, I knew that was the college I wanted to go to.
UCLA was the most aggressive in letting us know that they were interested in her, and once she found that out, it was a done deal.
Emily will graduate high school in February. She's combining the final 2 semesters of her senior year.
Yeah, plus this, yeah.
Emily will stay in the Bay Area to train until the new school year. With all her ups and downs, she has learned to roll with the punches and be grateful for everything gymnastics has given her.
It's really like this. Like you have to, there's nothing like this or nothing like this. It's always up and down. There's gonna be so many challenges.
And I look at so many girls that do gymnastics, and they all have the same dreams and hopes, aspiring to be these Olympians or these national team members, and she's actually there, right? So all her hard work and her dedication has truly paid off.
You'll have bad days, but the good days will also follow it.
A new adventure awaits Emily in college, and she knows to take every opportunity. You never know when something as simple as a newspaper coupon can change your life.
It isn't always easy for Emily and her family, but she knows she can take the discipline and other life lessons she's learned from gymnastics and apply them to whatever comes her way.
Yeah, it's never easy to be that successful. You know, it takes a lot, but she's...
Yeah, and I mean to have made a decision in 8th grade. That's where you're going to be going to college.
That's nice.
I don't think I made any decisions in 8th grade. Coming up, the Clayton Valley soccer star using her skills to help young people.
But first, here's this week's training tip by our good friends at the Rikus Center.
Hey, I'm Coach Juan Pablo. Today's training tip is the kettlebell goblet squat. George is going to demonstrate for us. We're going to start with the kettlebell. We're going to hold in what we call our goblet squat position. Hold it at chest level. Feet are shoulder width apart. George is going to take a deep breath in. Then he's going to sit back into his hips, keep his feet nice and flat, and come right back up. Give me 2 more reps, George. Make sure you drive through your heels and through your big toe as you're driving up, and that's your kettlebell goblet squat.
Each week, Lexus of Stevens Creek helps us honor athletes who do great volunteer work in their community.
Stephanie Garcia joins us now with the Clayton Valley soccer star and her commitment to young people.
Maintaining an impressive 4.2 GPA and undoubtedly dedicated to the game, soccer star Jenna West still manages to make time to share her passion with the community.
Center defender Jenna West is a 3-year MVP on the Clayton Valley girls soccer team. Jenna is also captain of the Mustang Soccer Club, but her journey started on the track.
I first started running track and I got recruited at the track fields. One of my friend's dads used to be a coach, so he recruited me to his team and just picked me up and said, hey, like, she would be a great soccer player. She's a little bit short for track. I was good at track, but I was a little bit too short for that. So I went on to soccer there, and since then I've been playing.
You know, Jenna's a very competitive, dedicated player. She shows up with a smile on her face, happy to be with her teammates. You know, these kids compete at the highest level for girls soccer in the country, and she's a big part of the team. Strong defender, like I said, tough, competitive, and just a joy to coach.
Jenna's proudest moment is the 2019 NCS playoff game against James Logan, where she scored the game-winning golden goal.
It went into overtime. We were 0-0, and usually I play center back, so I'm a defender, but my coach was like, okay, just go up top, try to score. We only have a few more minutes left. I went up top, they played it to the back, and they played a long ball, and I scored, and it was just a really good accomplishment. And
Not only a star on her soccer teams, Jenna recently started her own youth soccer lessons to teach young ones how to improve their game.
So Amaya, she's actually one of my first little girls that I had. I've been training her for about 4 weeks now, and all I've seen is each practice is improvement. We set up balls on the cones, and the first practice she didn't make any. We had to do a lot of running as a discipline almost, but throughout the last practice she was able to make all of them. All her shots were on point. The technique was great.
She's a really nice person. She pushes me in a good way, and I hope to just learn everything she knows and have her talent. I love working with her. I enjoy practice.
Out there working with them, it's really cool because each and every practice I just see improvement. And it's just the improvement that's wow, I've actually made an impact on the community and everything, and it's just really great.
That's definitely all her, and we're proud of her and proud of all the athletes we have that are reaching out to their community.
Outstanding skills on the soccer pitch earned her recognition from top colleges. Jenna is committing to play next season at San Diego State.
I've been preparing to play D1 soccer ever since I was little, and now just to get there, it's awesome, but I hope to just improve my play from there.
We've had a number of players go to San Diego State, and their coaching staff is fantastic.
Jenna's plan in college is to focus on soccer and her passion of filmmaking. She intends to major in media production.
I've made some documentaries, and I've made short films over the years. I've done a lot of work in the editing system, directing, producing, all of that.
With their focus in place and bright future ahead, Jenna leaves a positive legacy at Clayton Valley Charter and the Mustang Soccer Club. She hopes others will follow in her footsteps.
I just want to leave there making a good impact on the youngers, the freshmen, sophomores, juniors, to just carry on and lead the team.
The well-deserving student athlete recently entered a video-based scholarship where she hopes to turn her filmmaking aspirations into a way to fund her college experience.
She needs to come work here.
Yeah.
At least as an intern.
She offered. She wanted to talk.
It's a done deal. She's here. All right.
Email him.
Email me. Never does you any good, but you can try. That's our 49ers Cal High Sports for this week. Thanks for watching. I'm Robert Bronstein.
And I'm Aubrey Tolliver. Next week, we'll meet the super talented football star from Sarah and the San Benito girl kicking you-know-what in her sports. That's all on next week's show. Don't forget to tune in. We'll see you then.